Shakespeare is probably the best known playwright and best known writer in the whole world. And I was asked by a publisher to choose a Shakespeare play, any one I wanted, and write a novel based on it. And it may seem very arrogant to do that, but Shakespeare wrote plays, and plays change. Every time there's a new production of Hamlet, it's different from the last. He was also the first to say, oh yes, he stole all his stories from other sources. And so I decided to steal from him. And I chose the play Othello to write about. As you can hear, I'm American. And I have lived in London for over 30 years, so I am an outsider there. I'm an immigrant. And I chose Othello because it's the classic story of the outsider, surrounded by people who are nothing like him. And I decided I wanted to explore that theme in a book set close to, but not exactly contemporary. École. I decided to set Othello in a school, which may seem a little odd because it's such a grown-up idea. But if you remember your school days, the playground in a school was like its own contained little world, where all sorts of drama went on. There were politics, there was bullying, there were love affairs, there were all sorts of things, and every day was a drama. So I decided to set it in one place on the school playground all over the course of one day. And it takes place in 5 acts, just the way Othello the play does, but all set so that the time and place is all unified. Othello is the quintessential play about racism, and my book, Nouveau, one day a boy from Ghana walks onto a school playground, and they are entirely white and he is black. And the whole book is about the response of the children and the adults to this new, very different boy. And it brings out the different strands of racism that existed in the 1970s when I went to school in Washington, D.C., which is where this is set. But it also reminds us, although it's set at a time a little bit further back, it reminds us of the racism that still exists today. L'identité. Throughout the book, Osei, the black boy, has his character questioned all through the day. And he goes from being quite an innocent boy at the beginning of the day to quite full of a difficult experience at the end of the day. And one of the things I did slightly differently from Othello, the play, which is very much primarily about jealousy, this is more a story about a boy finding out politically what he's made of. He understands at the end of this book what has happened to him and the guilt that the society around him has for the way that they've treated him. So he comes to a kind of political realization, and it's a real understanding of identity. Unfortunately, Othello is a tragedy, so it is all a bit tragic.